Hello, I'm Svetlin Naku from SoftUni, the software university. I'm here for the third part of my free Java coding tutorial, a series of video lessons with hands-on practical coding exercises. As you know, my code lessons are more than just video tutorials. They combine videos with live examples and practical hands-on exercises where you write Java code after each lesson. Because I believe that coding can be learned only by coding, learn by doing. Today, I continue with the third part of my free Java coding tutorial for absolute beginners. If you missed the previous lessons, please review them first to catch up. In this lesson, I will talk about the console-based input and output in Java. I will show you how to read user input, format and print output to the console, and how to read and print text and numbers. I will teach you how to use the Java util scanner class to read text and numbers, and how to work with integers and decimal numbers. Do you remember that coding is a skill and it should be practiced just like any other skill? Don't skip the coding exercises at the end of this lesson. During the lesson, I will show you how to solve several coding problems and how to submit your solutions in the Judge system for automated grading. We shall read some data, perform some simple calculations with it, and print the results. These are the exercises. Let's do it! Let's learn how to read and print data using Java. Are you ready? Let's first explain the concept of the console and how to read and print text-based data in Java using the Java util scanner class. I will show you also how to use systemout printf with placeholders to print formatted text to the console. Let's explain first what is the console, the so-called terminal, or the standard input and output interface for the console-based programs. It's a special window used to communicate with the user. We can consider that this is a place where the user can write something and send this data to the program. The program processes this data and prints some output, which is also a text-based information. So the console uses a text-based input and output. It's a text-based interface, or it's called command line interface because we can send commands through this input and output text data. So this is how it could look like. This is typically a black window where you write some data and this data is sent to the program behind, and the program can print something as output. So this is another example how the console can look like. This is in IntelliJ IDEA. So the green text here is what the user enters, and the black text here is what the program prints as output. And this is another example in the Windows PowerShell terminal where the developer can write some commands and the PowerShell executes these commands and prints the output from their execution. So generally, the console displays text data, which is lines of text, and it reads the user input, which is also lines of text. So it can read data from the user and it can print data for the user as output. And generally, it works as a command line interface based on commands. You ask something, the program answers. You ask something else, the program answers again. Let's see how this works in Java. How we can read input and print strings in Java. First, one concept. Everything we read from the console comes as a string. It comes as text data. So generally, if we want to use the user input, we use this scanner.nextLine, which reads one text line of data from the console. But first we need the scanner class. We need to create a scanner object of the scanner class which is created from the scanner class using the system.in. System.in is the system input, the input part of this console. System.out is the system output where we print data. From system in we read data, from system out we print data. But system.in is only able to read single characters from the console. So we want to read whole lines. That's why we need to use the scanner class. I'll show you in a moment when I'm starting IntelliJ IDEA and I'm using Java code to show you this in more detail. So as a concept, everything we print to the console is converted to string first, which means that you can freely print with systemout.println to the system output to the console any text, for example, hello world or hello or how are you. But if we want to print numbers, they are first converted to strings. In this example, we convert the hello plus 1 to 3 into the string hello 1 to 3, and then this string is later printed. Let's see this in action. I start IntelliJ IDEA Community Edition, which I have installed previously, and I'll create a new project for our today lesson. I click new project, and okay, I click new project. With Java, I use Java 17, command line project, and I need to give it a name. Always give meaningful names to your projects. Your project's name should answer the question, what's inside? So what's inside here? We'll have Java console examples. Don't use spaces. It's bad practice because you may get in trouble if you use spaces in the name. So Java console examples is a good name for what we shall do today. We shall play with some examples with the Java console. I create this new project and it will have one main class. Here I have a project with a single Java class called main. The name is not important right now, so I will leave it as it. So to use the scanner, I need first to say scanner and some name, scanner equals to new scanner. If I press enter now, this scanner class will be imported and will be auto-completed here, the name. This is a feature of IntelliJ IDEA. Because scanner is external class, I need to import it. It comes from the Java util scanner from external library. So I continue here, system.in, but to use the scanner class, you need to import it. If you use some high quality and good development environment, this will be done for you. Okay, now we have the scanner and we want to read a new line. So we will say string line equals to scanner dot next line. Okay, so string is with big with capital letter because this is how Java works. And once we have written this one, we can print it as out, was the out template for shorting this, and I will print something like I read this line from the console, and at the second line I'll print the line, and I run this program, right click, run name, and it will run the console. Now the project is building because it's Java, it's not quite fast at the first run, but now I can enter something. Hello, I'm Svetlin from SoftUni, for example, and it will read this line and it prints this reads the text and saves it into this variable called wine. So I read this wine from the console, comes from this, and from this it prints what was read. So generally I read through scanner and next line. This is the way we read data. And how we print data? With system out println and also with system out print. I'll show you. System.out.print 5. This will print the number 5. It will be first converted to text, then it will be printed. And I will print a space and sorry, I will print 5 bottles of water, for example. And now I will delete this code because I want to demonstrate you how print works. This will print 5 plus space plus bottles of water, and ln means please go to the next line. So if we have print ln, it will go to the next line just after printing. If I skip ln, I will get everything on the same line. Do you see what happens? Okay, I have more spaces than required, but this is how it works. So it's usually we use println and println. Okay, this is how we read data with scanner and string wine equals to scanner dot next line. Sorry, next line, enter. This is how we read data and this is how we print data. Let's go ahead. How do we format output? What does it mean? It means that sometimes we need to print some data in certain format. For example, I need to print the first name of the person and his email in brackets. And this is called format. This is another example how we can format text and data using the so-called placeholders. Placeholders are places in the text which are replaced by certain data. For example, we have string first name equals John and int age equals 19. So we can print this by template, by a placeholder. We want to print something is something years old, and this something to be replaced with the first name, and this something to be replaced with the age. And person S means string data. Person T means text data. So usually we use person S when we have a text data, just like this, and person D when we have a integer data, just like this age. So when we run this code, we'll see this output. I'll show you something like this. So we have string name equals to Svetlin, for example, and int age equals to 25, for example, and I print, but with not ln, but with f, I print Svetlin, not Svetlin, percent s is percent t years old, and that's all. Okay, so we need to supply an argument for this percent s, and it will be the name, and for this percent t we supply the age. And now we run this and it will produce the following result. We can use this twice, percent s, name and name, and it will print Svetlin twice, like this. And we can have a better example, and the next year he will B, and here I can have age plus 1, %d years old. So I can have this here and this at the other line. But generally the idea here is that I have someone, the name, his age is %d, age years old, and the next year he will be %d, age plus 1 years old. So let's see how this works. The next year he will be 26 years old. So this is how this formatted output works, and it doesn't go to the next line, unlike println. So if we print several printf commands, they will be joined in the single line. If we want to change this, we just print person /n. /n means go to the new line. It's a special character which goes to the next line. Okay, so let's go a little bit ahead. I already explained the person test. It's called a placeholder, and this is %d, is a placeholder for integer. This is for text, this is for integers. So let's see another example when we have some numbers. For example, let's say double A equals 1.5 and double B equals 3.33, for example. So I can print with %f the sum is, and I'll print now %f, which means floating point, and I say a plus b. A plus b is the sum, and it will be replaced, this placeholder will be replaced by this sum. So see what happens now. The sum is 4.83. I'll use this and I'll remove this code because I don't need it. So see how this works, and it always formats the output with six numbers after the floating point, after the decimal separator. So I want to change this, so I can press %.2. Please use 2 digits after the decimal separator, so it will print 4.83. Do you see now? Okay, and if I press %1f, this will first round the numbers, and then it will print it. So if I have this, for example, 4.87, if I print it with 1 digit after the decimal point, it will output 4.9 because it will be rounded. This is how this works. So %f is a placeholder for a floating point number, and in this example the output will be 11.58, and %2f means 2 digits after the decimal point. We can have even 20, and it will work like this if we have more digits after the floating point, after the decimal separator. So let's go ahead. How do we read user input in Java? So I want to give you an example how to write a program which reads a name from the console and prints a greeting, prints something like hello and the name. For example, I enter my name Svetlin Nakov, and it prints hello Svetlin Nakov. So first I will create a scanner, then I will read the next line from the scanner, the next line from the input, and then I will print hello and this name. So let's do this. I will write something like scanner equals to new control space does the autocomplete. So I write this code very fast because I have this autocomplete. And now I can say string name equals to scanner dot next line. It's already there in the suggestions from the IntelliJ IDEA. And now I want to print something like hello space comma plus the name. And I run this code and it will enter the text. Okay, just a moment. It needs some time. Wow, to build this program. Java is sometimes slow. So I'm Svetlin Nakov, and it says, hello Svetlin Nakov. I can even print something like, what is your name? With space and without ln, print ln, without print ln, and see what will happen. The program will say, what is your name? And I will tell it's Svetlin. See, the green is what I sent to the program. The black is what the program prints to me. And it says hello Svetlin, and it may add an exclamation mark. So if I write, for example, Peter, hello Peter. Okay, so let's go ahead. This is how the execution result may look like. So this is how we generally read text data from the console, and how do we print data at the console, which is also text-based. This is the input and this is the output, as I already explained. In this section, we will read and print numbers to the console. Numbers can be integers such as 5 and 20, or floating point or real numbers such as 2.5 and minus 3.14. We shall use the scanner.nextIn and scanner.nextDouble. Let's see them in action. Now let's explain how do we read integers numbers from the console using Java. It's pretty simple. We use the same scanner object, but instead of next line, we use the nextIn command. The nextIn says, please read the next portion of text and parse it to an integer number. So int equals to scanner.nextIn reads an integer number, and this is an example how we can read a square area, input number a, and calculate the square area by this given site a. For example, we read 5 and we multiply 5 by 5 and we print the area. Let's see this in action in IntelliJ IDEA. So I can again write scanner equals control space scanner equals to control space new control space scanner system control space dot in, and this is how to just enter this faster. Scanner equals to scanner new scanner of system dot in, and then we read the number, and a equals to scanner dot next int. Okay, and but not as a, and we can say int area equals to a multiplied by a, and now print as out system out println area equals to plus area, and now we print. We run the program, we enter for example 5 and it says the area is 25. We enter for example 30 and it says 900. But if we enter something which is not text, for example, which is not a number, will have an exception, and later I will explain you in the exception handling lesson how we can catch this exception with this try and catch exception, something like this, exception X, and print something like, wow, like error. But I will talk about this later. So now if I print 5, it works correctly. If I print 3.5, which is not an integer number, it's a floating point number. Oh, sorry, it should be, everything should be inside. Okay, so if I print now 3.5, it will say error. But this will be in some of the next lessons. I just mentioned this. So let's explain how we can read floating point numbers. We use next double instead of next integer. So if we use double here and next double, and here again double, because when we multiply two double numbers, the result is double as well, we can print the area. And for example, if we have 3.5, the area is 12.25. Okay, and we can even print something like enter side square side A equals 2, and like this. So the user should be aware of what is expected for him to enter, 6.5 for example, and this is the area. This is how this works, and this is another example how we can convert from inches to centimeters. We take a number which is inches and we multiply by 2.54 and we print the centimeters. So we can save something like scanner equals to new scanner of system.in and double inches equals, or no, the centimeters equals to scanner dot next double, and double inches equals to centimeters multiplied by 2.54, and we print the inches equal plus inches. So this is how it could work. For example, 2 centimeters are 5.00 inches. Oh, it should be incorrect because I need to, if I have the, 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. If I convert from centimeter to inches, I should divide. And now 2 centimeters should be 0.78. I interchanges the inches and centimeters. So if we have inches here and centimeters here, it should be multiplication. And I can print something like print f, and say %f inches is equal to %f centimeters, inches and centimeters, and new line here. Let's see what happens. So 2 inches is 5.08. Dot to f to have 2 decimal digits after the decimal point. So this is how it works. Right. Okay, let's go ahead. How we can concatenate text and numbers. So if we have first name and last name and age, we can concatenate this with plus, just like this. I can say the first name plus last name plus vertical line plus age. So this is called concatenation or joining operation. So the result will be something like this. Let's see this in action. So if we have string first name equals to Svetlin and string last name equals to Markov and int age equals to 25, for example, I can say string text equals to first name plus space plus last name plus space vertical line plus age, for example, and I print this text. So the result is something like this. I have Svetlin Nakov, vertical line 25. So this is the example, and we can do it like this. A plus b equals a plus b. This is quite interesting because if I have int n is a is 5, int b 7, and if I print something like a plus b equals plus a plus b, and it will print 57. Why? Because the plus operator works like this, takes this, appends this, and it's a plus b equals 5. Then appends p 7 and it will be 57. If you want to avoid this, you can use brackets to change the order of calculations, and it will be 12, like it's expected to be. So be careful. Now it's time to move on to the hands-on exercises, because we want to learn skills, not just talk or watch video lessons. Follow the exercises, solve the practical problems from this lesson, and send your solutions to the judge system for grading. Learn by doing. Write code, run the code, test the code, make mistakes, fix them, make more mistakes, fix them again, run and test again, run again, test again, fix until the code works correctly. Finally, submit your code in the judge. This is how you learn coding, by practice. You will find the problem descriptions and the link to the judge system at softuni.org. Let's do it, let's code, let's solve a few practical problems. Maybe I repeat myself, but it's really important that if you want to learn coding, that you need to write code. Learn by doing. Watching video gives you only the knowledge, and solving the hands-on exercises which I have prepared for you gives you the experience and the practical skills. Exercises, projects, coding, fixing bugs, making mistakes, fixing them, running testings, this is how you gain experience and practical skills. So, write and submit the coding exercises. Done. The first problem we are going to solve today is to make a program which converts dates to minutes. So we read a single integer, the dates to be converted, and we convert the days to minutes. So one day have 24 hours and each hours have 60 minutes. So if we multiply the number of days by 24 multiplied by 60, we will find how many minutes one day or 5 days or whatever days contains. Finally, we print the minutes, and this is what we should write. We should, if we have 2 as input, the output should be minutes space equals 2880. This is another example. 5 days are 7200 minutes. Let's solve this. How do we solve it? We create a new project in IntelliJ IDEA. We give a good name, or I shall reuse the project, and I read the days, multiply by 24 by 60 to calculate the number of hours and number of minutes, and I finally print the minutes. Let's do it. I already have a project called Java Console Examples. So I'll create here a new class, new Java class, which will be called days to minutes. The name should answer the question what's inside. Inside is something which converts days to minutes, or days to minutes converter, because this is a converter from days to minutes. It's very, very well done. So I click use the main template, and in the main template I write something like scanner scan equals to new scanner of system.in. The scanner was automatically imported here, and the name of the variable can be scan or s or scanner. I'll use scan. So I'll read the number of days. Int days equals to scan dot next int, and I'll calculate the number of minutes. Int minutes equals to days multiplied by 24 hours multiplied by 60 minutes. So int, this was a mistake. And finally I print the minutes, and I should print also something, a text which says minutes equal to this. So let's test this. 5 days should have, oh, it runs not the correct program. Did you see? If I press this runs main, but main was my previous program. So I need to click run days to minutes converter. So 5 days are 7,200 minutes. I think I'm ready, so I copy this and I'll try to submit it to the judge system. But this is how it works. I already demonstrated. The judge for this lesson is here. If we go at contest code lessons, Java tutorial part 3 practice, and I can put this and check whether it is correct. It needs some time to convert, and it works correctly. If I submit a wrong solution, like use 61 minutes per hour, it will say that this solution is not correct. See, it doesn't work correctly. It's partially correct. Maybe when the days are 0, it works correctly, only in this case. Okay, let's go ahead with the next problem. I already explained how to submit in the judge. To convert centimeters to inches. So we read a floating point number, centimeters, for example 3.5. We convert the centimeters to inches by dividing by 2.54 and print the calculated result in this format. 5.00 centimeters equals to 1.97 inches. Let's do it. So I'll create a new Java class, which will be called, what's the name? Centimeters to inches. Centimeters to inches. Not program 2, not program 5. Some people use new folder brackets 2. It's bad. If you see this, run away. This is person who is not going to be a good developer. So always use good names. That's my important point here. So I need to read a floating point number called centimeters. I can just take this with Control C and Control V. So it will be double centimeters dot next double So I read the centimeters and I make the calculation. Double inches equals to centimeters divided by 2.54, because 1 inch is 1 centimeter is 2.54 inches. This is the formula. So finally I print something like this: 5.00 centimeters equals 2 inches. I can do it like this. Let's try it. So I print cm plus centimeters equals 2 plus inches plus inches. So let's run this and let's check. 5 should be 1.97. 5, I need to run this program, not the previous one. 5 equals to this one. But looks like I don't have space here. And also looks like that I don't use exactly 2 digits after the decimal point here. So I need to change something, because this will not run correctly. So if we go at the in the judge system, let's go and open the centimeters to inches problem. If I submit this, it will not work correctly, because if I click details, it will send me that the expected output is like this and my output is not as expected, and I need to print cm, not centimeters. Here I should print cm, and also I should use 2 digits after a decimal point. So I need to use printf with something like %.2f centimeters equals to %.2f inches and cm and inches. This cm will go here and this inches will go here. Let's run the code and check whether it works as expected. 5 centimeters equals to 1.97. I have another example, 2.7. Let's test it. 2.7. It should print 2.70 equals 1.06. Oh, looks like it's correct. So I copy the code, I go to the judge system, and I submit it again. For this problem, submit with the Java code, and it says that everything is correct. So we are done with this problem. This is how we can run the code. And the next problem is calculation of the speed. We read 2 floating point numbers, distance and time, and we need to calculate the speed. So if we have, this is an example, if we have passed 15 kilometers for 2 hours, our speed is 7.50 kilometers per hour. The metrics like kilometers, hours, seconds are not important here, because we just need to divide the first number to the second. That's the entire problem. I will not solve it, it's for you, but you can use this as guidance. You read the distance, read the time, divide them, and print in the correct format the calculated speed. It's for you, it's for homework. So if we press 50 and 10, the output should be 5.00. The next problem is calculating area of triangle. So we read the side A and the height of side A. So let's have a drawing. If we have a triangle and we have this H, and if we have this A, this is the size and this is the height. If we multiply them by the well-known formula, multiply them and divide by 2, we'll calculate the area of triangle, and we need to print the second digit. So we need to multiply the first number 5 by 10 and divide to 2. So this is a triangle area calculator. It's very similar to the previous one. We read two numbers, we make a calculation, and we print the output. It's again for you. I leave it for homework. So this is how it works. And this is another problem. It's about calculating circle area and perimeter. We enter one number, floating point number, the radius of the circle, and we calculate the area and the perimeter of the circle. Maybe you know the formulas. If you don't know the formulas, please use circle, perimeter, area formulas. But generally it's 2 times PR. This is the one of the formulas, but P, the perimeter is 2 times the number P, 3.14, multiplied by the radius. And the area is P multiplied by the radius, multiplied by the radius. So this is your last problem. I will leave it for you. It is a little bit more complex. Please solve it and send it to the judge here. And if you open the results, you should see that you have 500 points from all the problems solved correct. Okay, again, solve your problems, because coding is experience, coding is a skill, it's not watching videos. Did you like this lesson? Do you want more? Subscribe to my YouTube channel to get more free video tutorials on coding and software development. Join the learners community at softuni.org. Get free access to the practical exercises and the automated judge system for this code lesson. Get free help from mentors and meet other learners. Join now! softuni.org.